Happy Friday. I just got off work. We're going to talk about some Gloomspite Gitz. They got an update today. They got their Scourge of Ghyran update. Pretty exciting. But first, thanks to all my patrons, Wyberian for the channel art, and Baron of Dice for supporting the channel. The best way to support the channel is through Patreon. Do that. Or don't. It's fine. It's fine. I have enough models. All the I use the Patreon funds to buy Warhammer. Yeah, who doesn't need more Warhammer, right? Yeah. Okay, here it is. Scourge of Ghyran, faction rules, Gloomspite Gitz. So first I have to say, this is the first one of Gitz and Ironjaws and Kruleboyz that's out. I'm obviously going to be covering all three, being the green skin that I am. I have to commend Games Workshop. This is a fantastic idea. This is, because I understand, you know, Games Workshop, they're in the business of selling books, and they want to sell books and have them stay relevant. They don't want to put all their rules online, and while I, you know, disagree, I am on the consumer side and on the business side, so, you know, I accept that, you know, we have a difference of opinion, and that's fine. This is a great compromise. It's an absolutely fantastic compromise. It's like, once a year, you get kind of something that's going to shore up where your army is weak. You're going to get a reworked thing. That plus some new War Scroll releases, some new models in between books. And I'm a happy guy, right? I'm a happy guy. So I'm a big fan. I like it a lot. Battle formations. Okay, let's have a look. And they're also a lot, right? Like this one has a whole spell lore. It has 2 battle formations. It has 2 War Scrolls. Like it's a lot of stuff, you know? I'm really happy. Good job. Credit when credit's due. Okay, battle formations. Sunbiter Pack. Once per turn army, any combat phase. Pick up to 3 friendly Gitz Mob units that charged this turn to be the target. Add 1 to the rend characteristic of companion weapons used by the targets for the rest of the turn. This is something that Gitz Mob desperately needed. This is something that Gitz Mob desperately needed, because previously their rend was very, very, very poor. The damage through the entire book was quite weak. So getting rend, or getting extra rend on the charge is going to be super helpful. And also don't forget that Gitz Mob have abilities where they get to retreat and charge and other things like this, right? So it's quite good. I think that this might, you know, do a pretty good ability to like shore up the army. The one that they have now is called a Gitz Mob Pack. It's Git and Run. So this is sort of what you're losing, right? Because like if you pick a battle formation, you're losing something from the other battle formation. Here, I'll just pull it up on the screen here really quick. Right, but what you're losing is this Gitz Mob Pack ability. In your movement phase, pick a friendly Gitz Mob unit that is in combat to use this ability. Then you can pick an enemy unit in combat with that Gitz Mob unit to be the target. The same enemy unit cannot be picked by this ability, or cannot be picked to be the target of this ability more than once per phase. If you picked a target, roll a d3 on a 2-up, inflict amount of mortal damage equal to the roll, so 2-up d3 mortals. Then use the unit using this ability can move a distance up to its move characteristic. It can move through the combat ranges of enemy units, but it cannot end the move in combat. So this is like a 2-up mortal free retreat. So that's what you're trading. You're trading a 2-up mortal free retreat for rend on the charge, right? And also too, don't forget too that the Gitz Mob also have this ability as well. While the Bad Moon is Sulkin or Cacklin, friendly Gitz Mob units can use charge and shoot abilities even if they use the retreat ability in the same turn. So instead of getting so if you're under the light of the Bad Moon, you can retreat and charge, or you can shoot. You can retreat and shoot, right? Use a charge and shoot abilities even if they use the retreat ability in the same turn, right? So you can like retreat, shoot, and charge if you're under the light of the Bad Moon. So instead of it being like 2-up d3 mortals retreat, you can just retreat and take d3 mortals instead, right? So it's like you're taking the damage, but you do get a rend on the charge. So probably worth it, I think. Like, their damage was just so bad. I mean, if we look at, like, the Snarl Pack Cavalry War Scroll, right? It's like 0 rend, 0 rend. So, it's like on the charge now, right? On the charge now, the pointy Skuas are going to deal 2 damage, and the giant Snarl Fang Jaws are going to have a rend. So, on the charge, these things are actually going to be nasty. We talked with Mason Knox last week about like the Gitz Mob Army of Renown. So this isn't usable in the Army of Renown. So to be honest with you, because now this is what you're getting, it's probably better than the Army of Renown, I would think. We'll see what. Hey Mason, if you're out there, leave a comment in the thing. Tell me what you think. Cool. Next one, Gittish Tide. Grots upon grots. Grots on grots on grots. Pick a friendly non-squig Moon Clan unit that is contesting an objective to be the target. So it's obviously going to be like the where are they? Infantry. Just straight up infantry. The Moon Clan Shootas and the Moon Clan Stabbas. But it's 3 friendly Gitz Mob. Oh no, sorry. Non-squig Moon Clan. So if we look at all the Moon Clan units, it's going to be I mean, the ones that are relevant. It's not going to be like... I mean, if we look at the rest of the ability, it says add 1 to the control score of the target unit for each model in that unit that is not contesting any objectives. So essentially what this means is that if you have a bunch of non-squig Moon Clan, only 1 has to touch the objective, and then the whole unit counts as being on that objective. So if anyone touches the objective, everybody is touching the objective. So it means obviously, like, you know, one of the first thoughts is going to be like Moon Clan Shootas and Stabbas, where if they're reinforced to 40 and then 1 25mm model toes onto that objective, then the whole unit, now you have 40 control. That's a lot of control, right? That means you're out controlling like Mega Gargants and everything. Like nothing has 40 control. So, and then it's relatively cheap too, right? Like these Moon Clan Shootas and Stabbas are not very expensive. So it's a lot of control for very cheap. But some other honorable mentions are all going to be Gobbapalooza, right? Gobbapalooza has 5 models, I think. So now Gobbapalooza counts as having 5 control if just 1 is touching, which is like not a big deal or whatever. The Fanatics, right? So Spore Splat of Fanatics and the Loon Smash of Fanatics as well. But really it's going to be like Stabbas and Shootas are going to be the all-stars here. So I don't really know how good this is. If you're going to, don't forget too, this is battle formation. So maybe this is better than what is currently exists for the Moon Clan sub-faction, because the one that's right now, I think it's like you get to an extra pile in and it does some damage or whatever. But now it's like you're gonna score on the primaries, like on the objectives, incredibly successfully without having to worry too much about it, right? Like if you have 40 Moon Clan like Stabbas, you're not gonna be able to fit them onto objectives very well. But now it's like you just control all of that, right? We should just like start doing this too. Never mind. So that's pretty cool. So I'm not going to play this. This doesn't particularly interest me. So if you are a Moon Clan player, let me know in the comments below what you think, or jump into Discord. Discord's the bomb. There's a new spell lore of the Frazzle Git. So from my understanding, there's no restriction of any units that can take this. Like you can just take this lore. It's not like only some wizards, right? Because it says pick a friendly Gloomspite Gitz wizard. It doesn't name any other keyword. So you could take Scragrot, and Scragrot could cast these spells. As far as I understand, I don't see any kind of restriction that would say why not. So you do, however, lose the rest of, like, you don't get to bring the other spell lores with you, right? It's sort of one or the other. So it means that essentially what you're going to lose is you're going to lose the Hand of Gork, right? Lore, not the dank manifestations, but the lore of the Clammy Dank. So you're gonna lose the Hand of Gork, which is good, right? Casting on a 7 teleport. The Holy Within 24 is super annoying, but the rest of these spells are kind of trash, right? Bad Portents. This spell is garbage. You have to pass, and then there's another roll right? Oh, sorry, that's not the spell. I mean, Spore Maw. This is such a bad spell. You have to successfully cast the spell, and then you have to roll a 2-up D3. And so it's like, you have to successfully cast 7 or more. 7 is way too high. It should be like a 4 for this terrible spell. Your opponent has to not unbind it, and then even if you're successful with all of this, there's still a 1 in 3 chance that the spell does nothing. So it's just absolute trash, right? It's just an absolute trash spell. And then this spell is also just trash. Moving the moon around is, and again, it's like on a 1 or a 2, nothing happens. So like, this is a garbage spell lore. These two spells, Spore Maw and Bad Portents, are just terrible. The Hand of Gork is good, so that's what we're comparing it to here. So keep that in mind, right? What we're losing is we're losing the Hand of Gork, which is a good spell, right? This game's all about movement. Okay, so pick a friendly Gloomspike Gitz Wizard to cast a spell. Pick up to 3 friendly visible Gloomspike Gitz units wholly within 12 to be the target. Then make a caster from 2d6. Okay, so pick 3 friendly units wholly within 12. Each target can immediately use a retreat ability. Remember how if we take this other sub-faction, remember how if we take this battle formation, we're losing that retreat ability. Each target can immediately use a retreat ability as if it was your movement phase. No mortal damage is inflicted. So it's like you get a slightly better retreat where you don't have to take... actually, that's not true. It's a significantly better... Why are people messaging me? I don't get it. No, I have no friends. This is a retreat in the hero phase, which means you can retreat and then move and then charge. And you don't take any damage. So it's not just a better retreat. And you can do this with 3 units. So this combos incredibly well with the extra rend that we're getting in Gitz Mob, right? Because it's like I can have 3 units of Wolf Cav charge, get plus to rend, plus damaged on the charge, and then in my even in my off turn, right? Like in my opponent's turn or in my next turn, I can retreat all 3 to move them and charge them again. So they get to like hit something that is worth hitting. And they can also all 3 dogpile onto something and be like, bam, right? And then it goes off on a 6, so it's not bad. It's not bad. Makes me want to bring a +1 wizard, right? Get it off on a 5. It's pretty cool. And also don't forget too that with our artifacts of power, that we can also get get a caster, or no, with Loon Touched, I guess. Right, we can either put this on like a fungoid and add 1 to the casting, or we can put it on a non-unique hero. And yeah, I mean, it's kind of interesting because our Gitz Mob are fast, right? Our Gitz Mob are really fast, so that means that if we're gonna need a hero that's also fast to keep up, this looks like maybe something for the Bounder boss. You give it Loon Touched, it becomes a wizard, and then it can like move around and use this ability with your Gitz Mob. But there's other wizards as well, right? Like I guess Scragrot, obviously, but he's slow. And then there's that other one, the new one from the Gitz Mob. I always forget its name. I'll just look it up here really quick. Frazzle Git Shaman on War Wheeler. So I think that this lore makes that Frazzle Git much better, right? This ability is better than the other mana or the other lore that we had. I think almost immediately, especially if you're planning on playing Gitz Mob. This also works with bounders, I guess. So like putting this on a bounder boss and then have like running bounders, right? Pick a friendly Gloomspike Gitz wizard. Pick 3 friendly Gloomspike Gitz units. They can retreat as if it was your movement phase. So it's like retreat, and then the bounders have an even better charge ability, right? And it goes off on a 6. This, putting Loon Touched in a bounder, on a bounder boss, and then using this spell, feels really good, I think. Feels really good. I like it. Okay, next one. In your hero phase, it goes off on a 6. Gitz Speed. Gitz Speed. Pick a friendly Gloomspike Gitz wizard to cast a spell. Make a casting roll of 2d6. Until the start of your next turn, add 2 inches to the movement characteristic of friendly non-Troggoth Gloomspike Gitz units while they're wholly within 12 of this unit. So that means that yeah, like that's fast. Non-Troggoth. It's too bad because this would be really good on Rock Guts. but this is going to be good on anything else. If you want to try like a horde of Gloomspite of like Moon Clan, if you want to try like a Moon Clan list, you can make a whole bunch of Moon Clan, wholly within 12 of like Scragrot, let's say, or a Fungoid Cave Shaman, 2 inches extra move, because those Moon Clan guys, they only have a 5-inch move, so this gives them a 7-inch move. That's quite a significant increase in movement speed, so that's pretty cool. It's also good for like Squigs, like Herd, right? Because it's non-Troggoth, so this includes Gloomspike. So it's also like Squig Herd. 2-inch move to Herd is pretty cool. And like Bounders, Hoppers, all that. Just to everything. Like you can do like a little ball of things and just move them right up the battlefield. It's pretty cool. It's a good spell. I mean, just these 2 spells, if we're being honest. Oh, and this spell's unlimited. The retreat spell's unlimited. Just these two spells, I think, make it better than the other lore. Hand of Gork is good, but going off on a 7 and it being the only spell in your lore, that kind of hurts. So that's pretty good. Good spells. Gaze of Glare Face. Pick a friendly Gloomspike Gitz wizard to cast a spell. Pick a visible enemy unit within 18 inches. So not wholly within, just within 18 inches. That's a nice, good range, especially casting on a 6. Effect, until the start of your next turn, the target cannot use run abilities. Half the range characteristic of the target's ranged weapons. Wow! What a spell. Remember, redeploy is a run ability. You can't redeploy. You can't run at me. As an Ironjawz player, this terrifies me. I need my redeploys, especially with an eye for Defight and like a minimum of 4, and not being able to like auto run 6. Like you turn what is like with a command point, you're removing 10 inches of movement from Ardboys with this, and it's just within 18 inches. That's a very generous range. Good spell. Yep, definitely lots of play here. It's like all 3 of these spells, I'm not sure if you noticed, have to do with movement, and movement is everything in this game. So I don't think it matters what you're playing. I think you play lore of the Frazzle Git. I think you play lore of the Frazzle Git at least just to see what it's like, right? Give this a try. Definitely an improvement. Super pumped, super happy, digging this so far. Let's keep going. In my opinion, that's not even the best stuff yet. Loon Smash of Fanatics. So now we're into our actual war scroll here with our Loon Smash of Fanatics. Okay, so move of 2d6, health 1, 6 of save, 1 control. This is the same. This hasn't changed. Our melee is 3 attacks, 4s and 3s, 2 rend, d3 damage. This has changed. Ball and chain previously was d6 attacks. So now, instead of this being an average of 3.3, it's 3. Instead of it being an average of 3.3, so it's not going to spike and you're not going to lose it. But you do, in a reinforced unit, you do lose 10 dice, right? This is 30, and then 3.3 times 10. No, it's 5 dice. In a reinforced unit, right? You're losing on average 5 attacks, but you're way more consistent. So I like that. I like consistency. So to me, this is actually a benefit. I know that to our Timmy players out there who really want to see those big numbers explode, right? I know that that's not going to be as good, but to me personally, I take this trade every time. A guaranteed 30 as opposed to an average of 35. Like, I personally like that. Okay, Lost in the Horde. So it's a different ability than the other Gloomspike Gitz or the other Fanatics ability. It's called Hidden Loons. So they're different because the abilities that they have that follow refer specifically to being either lost in the horde or hidden among the mob. Like, they use different keywords, I think. Yeah, they use different keywords. And just as a reminder too, it's like both of these war scrolls are still legal. This doesn't replace the old Fanatics. This is in addition to the old Fanatics. So let's see. Set this unit up in reserve amongst the horde. Okay, good. It's now deployed. Fine. Whirling Destruction. Once per turn army, any charge phase. So this happens on your opponent's turn as well as on your turn. If it happens on your turn, it happens after you've charged. I guess you can do this in any order, right? Any charge phase. So, I mean, it can be after you've charged. If it's on your opponent's turn, it's after they've charged. If it's on your opponent's turn, you can counter charge and then do this. But it doesn't say that you have to have charged, right? So that's important. So you could have charged in the previous turn and then hold off and then do this later. Okay, set up this unit anywhere on the battlefield wholly within 3 inches of a friendly Moon Clan Stabas or Moon Clan Shooters unit. So you can't hide them in Gobblepalooza, right? Does it say up here? Yeah, it just says lost in the horde, right? So it doesn't say like you don't have to pick, but it's only Moon Clan Stabas and Shooters. Nothing tricky, no Gobblepalooza like this. The restrictions for how and where it's set up are interesting because it just says wholly within 3. It doesn't say outside of 9, and it doesn't say not in combat. So you can just deploy them wholly within 3 in combat. So you can charge and then put fanatics, a ball of 10 fanatics in combat, which is, and anyway, then this unit can move 2d6. It can pass through enemy models in combat ranges and can end that move in combat. So it has like a 2d6 flying movement, and it can end in combat. So you can charge fanatics, or sorry, you can charge Stabas in, and then you can, something's beeping at me, and then you can pop out fanatics, and then they can go over your opponent's battle line with 2d6 move. Right, so let's say we have an average of 7 inches, so it can go an average of 7 inches, and it can fight things on the other side. So this is like I'm going to jump over your battle line, and I'm going to get into your caster. I'm going to get into your hero. I'm going to get into the squishy thing that you didn't want me to get into. Then roll a dice for each enemy unit in combat with this unit, or that this unit passed across as part of the move. Just a die. 1 die. Inflict an amount of mortal damage on the target equal to the roll. So it's d6 mortal wounds. You get to do d6 mortal wounds to everything that's in combat with these things after they move, or everything that it jumped across. So you're going to be hitting like 2 or 3 units with this. 3d6 mortal wounds spread across 3 units is nutty. It's nutty. And deploying into combat and then moving, like, oh my. Like, you're getting in there. What we lose is always strikes first. That's what we lose is always strikes first, right? But the other one says outside of 9, so you used to have to charge with this. So this ability is strictly better. It's straight up strictly better, like significantly in my opinion. Movement. Deploying into combat, 2d6 move. Your opponent is going to be so scared of coming into these things. And don't forget too, like, you can do this in your opponent's turn, like after they've charged into some of your Moon Clan, but it's not going to be super helpful, right? Because like these things are paper, they are made of paper, right? 1 wound each with a 6-up save. Like the whole reinforced unit has 10 wounds on a 6-up save. Like you're not making any saving throws against any kind of rend. You're not wasting all-out defense here. So doing this on your opponent's turn doesn't seem particularly good unless you're confident that you can get it into a position where it's going to be fighting some like wizard or something like that, right? And then it's your turn, so you're going to be charging in, and then you'll be fighting before your opponent, right? Barring some like strike last strike first effects, right? But awesome. Can't wait to play it. Feels way better. Feels way more like Fanatics, right? Amazing. Okay, next one. So now we have the Spore Splat of Fanatics. So the Spore, I'm pretty sure, I'm just going to double check, but I'm pretty sure that it's the same sort of health profile, right? 2d6. Yep, this is the same as it was before. The ball and chain is different. So it used to be D3 attacks, so an average of 2, and now they've just taken the average. So instead of it being D3 attacks, now it's just 2 attacks. I like it, as the reasons I stated before. 3s and 4s, 1 rend, D3 damage, same as before. Yeah, so that's all fine. Subtract 1 from the attack characteristic of weapons used by enemy units while they are in combat with this unit. So what we've lost is it can make a normal move in the deployment phase. but it can move 2d6 inches. Right? And then we also lost this ability too. Add 1 to the attack characteristic of melee weapons used by other friendly Moon Clan units while they're wholly within 12 inches of this unit. We don't have that anymore. It's only the minus. But instead, we get this ability. Right? And then it did have this ability. Right? So we lost a move in deployment. And we also lost a plus to the attack characteristic buff. Which I'm not going to lie is significant. Like, adding 1 die to every Moon Clan unit was definitely something. But at the end of any turn, this unit can move 2d6 and fly. So, like, to be honest with you, I'm nowhere near as excited for these guys. They don't really have as much damage potential, right? Having 4 to wound instead of like with the fanatics, you can all out attack them with 2 rend. Right, but these guys, I guess they already I guess you could all attack them, but the 4 up to wound is a little bit weaker. It's going to be harder to buff that. I don't think Gitz have anything that gives plus to wound in their book, so 4 to wound kind of hurts. Less dice, less rend, right? Still something, but they also can't like teleport out of things. These things are going to be slogging it on foot the whole way, especially if you're not taking the Hand of Gork, right? So I'm a little bit less interested in this. Oh. End of any turn, it can move 2d6. So they're going to be fast. So minus to the attack characteristic is a pretty good debuff. But I don't know. I'm way more excited about throwing Whirling Destruction fanatics into combat. I think that's way more interesting. Subtract 1 thing to attack characteristic. Yeah. You have to be in combat with them, so they're just going to get slapped. Are you going to run these in squads of 5? Probably. I don't know. Still better than I think the other one was. Maybe. Adding +1 to the attack characteristic is pretty good. But, I don't know. I guess if you're playing like a Moon Clan list, you're probably not running a ton of... like the Moon Clan, like the Stabas are not there to be your hammers. They're there just for primary control. So I guess in a way this can make them a little bit tankier if you're running some Spore Splatters next to them. But I can't wait to throw some fanatics at people. Let me know what you think. Did I miss something? Did I get something wrong? Did I overvalue, undervalue something? Let me know in the comments below. Like, subscribe. Wah.